Work, man. He really dedicating himself to his stand-up game.
All of his wins have come by way of submission. In this 3-fight winning streak is Dong-Sik Yoon. And Yoon with a good measure right now in Oyama. And once again, he wants to get him to the ground.
Top side triangle.
But he's got to be careful about the triangle.
He's got to get it up in the shoulder and the armpit, though. It's sliding off the head. Looks like Yoon's going to be able to survive this one. See, it pops out right away. Yep.
Now Oyama gets busy from the side and stands up.
Well, Yoon doing a good job of hunting it down. Needs to bend his legs a little bit, get his head above his butt.
And Yoon slams him. Picks him up and sets him down hard.
Now he knows to get the pickup, he had to drop his hips to lift him up, but he wasn't in that position the whole time. He's been a little bit smarter about it. He could have finished that takedown a lot earlier. See, in that position, leaning on somebody with your legs straight, your back bent takes a lot of energy out of you. So it's better to finish the takedown, get him on the ground, get into a ground and pound position. You know, unless you're a mauling brawler or however you want to work the ground game.
Yoon with a knockdown punch and takedowns here in the first 2 minutes of this second round. Clearly in charge of the fight at this moment. You look back on that first round, kind of a close first round. This is going to be interesting these last 2 minutes, 50 seconds.
Yeah, obviously, Oyama's picked up the pace, but Yoon has matched his pace. Let's just say Yoon was going 80% the first round. He's now at 90%, but Yoon is also now at 93%. He's picked up the pace a little bit more as well, and as a result, he ends up on his back and ends up in better positions every time they scramble.
As you talked about earlier, Frank, Yoon, who has fought primarily as a light heavyweight, dropping 20-some pounds, getting into the middleweight division, doing it the old-fashioned way, running, jumping rope, and it's paying off right now. It appears just over 2 minutes to go. He looks like the fresher fighter still.
Worked himself in a perfect mount. I mean, to get in these positions, you got to have more energy. Not only more technique, but more energy, especially this late in. We're already 13 minutes into the fight.
And we've seen Yoon here come out stronger in this second round than perhaps any fighter we've seen at this point tonight.
Yes, yeah, he has. Yeah, he really has. He's had a better second round than anybody else to date.
Certainly Oyama on the bottom knows he has a lot of work to do after this strong start here to the second round by Yoon.
There's plenty of time left for a submission attempt on either guy to finish the fight early. But really, Yoon is in a position now where he can kind of ride his decision out if he chooses to.
Interesting for Yoon, he has never won by way of decision. In his 3 wins, they've all been submission.
It's hard to submit. I mean, hopefully he's seen tape and worked it and understands that. It's hard to submit a guy like Oyama. He's very technical on the ground, especially defensively. Maybe Yoon knows this, so in the last minute he's just going to bang away at him.
Under a minute to go. I didn't even need the translator for that. And again in mount is Yoon, who has taken over this fight here in the second round. Moves up in mount, tries ground and pound for the first time in this fight. No more rabbit punches here. He's trying to put the hammer down.
Oh, wow. Yama's getting hit flush, too, on a lot of those punches. Now he's finally trying to defend the mount out of desperation.
Dong-Sik Yoon turning in the most dominant round we have seen here tonight. He has owned all phases of this second round. Oyama grasping in desperation at the end. Could he pull out a miraculous submission? No, it was all Yoon in the second round. Enough to give him the decision for the fight, though.
Yeah, I can't see the judges getting anything else but unanimous decision for Yoon on this one. He completely dominated, unless the judges were looking at a different fight than I was.
Dong-Sik Yoon, who was very strong in the first round and just absolutely on top of everything, going from that big punch to start this second round. to everything else.
I mean, definitely that left punch was the one that put him on the ground. He didn't fall over. He got knocked down for sure. It was definitely a knockdown. And then that perfect takedown with a big left. And then just the punching at the end. But really, he dominated the entire fight. And that punch was just one spot that shined. But he really, from the opening bell to the ending bell, it was all Yoon. At least in my humble opinion. What do I know?
Well, I concur. I think everyone does. But now, what about the guys that matter? Let's see what the judges say.
Yoon. Judge Adachi. Yoon. Judge Koyashi. Yoon. Yoon Souza. Yoon Dong-Sik. And the winner.
It goes the distance. Dong-Sik Yoon winning for the 4th straight time. This unanimous decision over Oyama sends him on in the Dream Middleweight Tournament. Yoon, an impressive fighter here, Frank.
Yeah, he's improving. He's getting a lot better. I'm really impressed so far at the middleweight tournament. Even the losers are doing a lot better. They've improved themselves. They're obviously dedicated, trying to get in shape and get ready for this middleweight tournament. Yoon now is a contender. He's definitely got it. That I can see him making his way, sneaking his way into decision, humping his way into a submission. Obviously, he's in the finals.
As we said, this would be one of the best fights you'll ever see between two guys with losing records, deceiving losing records because of the competition that they have faced earlier in their career. And Yoon is now 4-4 and moving on in strong fashion. Sultanakhmedov will be our next fight against Galesic in a matchup of young fighters who've done well.
And now for the 4th match.
Magomed Sultanakhmedov 選手の入場です。
Magomed coming out. Sultanakhmedov coming in here with a 4-1 record. 3 of those wins by decision. Has a TKO. He is in the midst of a 3-fight win streak. And he looks all business.
Great Muay Thai kickboxer. Better than decent sambo. His problem is that his takedown and his sambo game aren't really solid enough to knock most people down. He tries to do that knocking down sambo style, which isn't going to work against a guy that's got good base, good balance. He tends to one punch and one kick his way inside to get to the throw, as opposed to using a bunch of combos, which I believe he should use because he's got good hands. He just doesn't use them as often as he should.
Sultanakhmedov waiting now as he makes his way in. His opponent, a fighter that does not stay in the ring long. You prefer the stepping through or the leaping over the ropes, Frank?
Man, I trip up stairs, I trip over ropes, I roll underneath the bottom rope.
秋コーナーよりゼルグ弁慶ガレシック選手の入場です。
I like to call it Galesic, the little crow cop coming from Croatia. Kicks like crow cop does. Trains at Team Trojan, which is where James Thompson trains, the heavyweight James Thompson. He's got better than almost perfect stand-up skills, believe it or not. And his submission game is surprisingly deceptive. He has a great submission game that most people don't really get to see because his first couple fights he was exhausted. I don't know if it was the new game of having to do a full MMA match and what the problem was. And his stand-up game is what most people see because he is so flexible. He can almost kick himself in the shoulder. He's so tall.
As we look at the tail of the tape here,
I have to be honest with you. I don't think Sultan is that tall. I think Zelg is a little bit taller. You see them walking by each other.
Galesic looks like the taller fighter.
Yeah, they have them both at 6'2", but I know Galesic is 6'2" for sure.
これより第4試合を行います。アゴは188センチ、83.4キロ。マゴメドスルタンアクメド。 赤コーナー188センチ、83.9キロ。ゼルグ弁慶ガレシック。
Watch quickly if Galesic fights his typical style. His average length of win time, 1 minute 16 seconds. 6 of his 7 wins have come by some form of a knockout. And if you've been watching our Dream 2, then this should give you a good indication. He knocked out Tae Ken, who we saw win earlier tonight, had a TKO in the first round against him, and he lost in a first round by way of submission to Dong-Sik Yoon, who just pulled off a victory over Oyama.
Magomed is southpaw.
Now Galesic comes in throwing early.
Good hip toss, partial hip toss, knee sweep. Oh wow, Zelg's he's a lot more. I'm sorry, surprised me. A lot more motion oriented on the bottom. He usually doesn't move that much. Then went straight to a sweep. He wasn't usually spends more time trying to defend, get back to his feet. He actually went right to a sweep. Perfect sweep position, got himself into it. His head's caught, but he's not in any kind of danger. He's actually sitting on his leg, on Magomed's leg, so he's not going to get anything. Oh, now, he's got
Sultanakhmedov.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I was going to say, he switched himself to that full guard, and he saw his chin. He was in a good spot to finish a front guillotine.
Sultanakhmedov trying to squeeze that in there early on, and his strength is to keep it on the ground. And in doing this, Galesic is not able to throw those punches that he likes to.
No, smart move. Hold his hands, keep him from moving. He's going to posture up. If Galesic does what he usually does, he's going to sit up and start to ground and pound a little bit. But he has got to get his hands free to do that. You know, it's a smart position by Magomed to hold his hands tight. Good. So right to the guard pass, right to the mount, and get swept again. Good. Oh, right to the armbar. Oh, it's in. That arm's
Galesic is
in.
working on it. Galesic is trying to wrap
That's
it. He
it.
does. He gets him to tap out.
Wow, that was quick. He sunk that right in. Magomed made the mistake. He sat up and tried to pull away. You can't pull away from an armbar. That allows the arm to go straighter. That was a really bad mistake. He was actually part of the way out of it. All he had to do was crush and turn the corner. He would have got away. Instead, he pulls up, pulls away, and ends up getting caught in the armbar.
Zelg Galesic's known for his big punching power. He has won 6 fights by way of knockout. He has won in the first round over and over, and he gets this one in the first round by way of submission, as it looked like Sultanakhmedov is going to be the stronger of the two on the ground, but he got caught in that armbar.
Very, very smart, very smart. Good position. Immediately as he got swept, leans right over, gets his leg over. And as you see, Sultanakhmedov stands up and pulls away, and that's the mistake. Oh, look at that elbow. There's no way. There's no way that he's getting out of that one. He had to crush down on top of him, get him down, leg across the chin, lift his head up. Perfect position. Good work.
And Galesic does nothing to affect his average length of win time, 116 coming into this fight. And now he has a few things to say. It's always better to have that microphone when you win.
I start teaching Japanese, so soon I'm going to be able to talk with all of you.
すぐに日本語を勉強して皆さんに日本語で話ができるようになりたいと思います。
Mr. Yoon Dong-Sik, after he beat me, he showed me that I need to learn more. I need to learn more of the ground skills. Today I said, I know it, let's try it.
ユン・ドンシク選手が寝技の選手だということは知っていました。彼の戦いを見て自分も寝技で頑張ろうと思いました。そして今日やってみました。
Sayonara till the next time, guys. Bye.
また戻ってきます。またよろしくお願いします。
Zelg Galesic advancing on with that armbar submission of Sultanakhmedov here in the first round. And Galesic, how about that, giving credit to Dong-Sik Yoon, who beat him 7 months ago.
Yeah, smart move, learn a little bit, paying attention to the guy that beats him. Obviously the guy that beats you a little bit smarter than you. Learn the position. He figured, like he said in his post-fight interview, look, I knew the position, let me go ahead and try it, let's see what happens. And sometimes just trying it is enough to win. He tried it, put it on perfectly. Good work.
Galesic now moving on as he wins for the 8th time in his career. We know about his punching ability. We did not get to see it tonight. He did not need it. Now we've learned more about a ground game that's improving. As we get ready now for Ian Murphy making his MMA debut here tonight.
ただいまより本日の第5試合オリンピアドリーム2ミドル級グランプリ2008開幕戦第4試合を行います。
And now for the 5th match.
青コーナーよりイアン・マーフィー選手の入場です。
Out of Corona, California, on the Cal State Fullerton Wrestling Team, 2007 National Freestyle Champ. Finished 3rd in Greco-Roman Wrestling. Great collegiate background. Learning the MMA game and jumping right into this middleweight tournament in a big way because he's taking on Ronaldo Souza. Who, you ask?
Jacare. Why they use Ronaldo Souza, I have no idea. I had to double check when I saw the brackets. I was like,
To make sure Jacare was.
I thought Jacare was fighting. What happened to Jac? Okay, so everybody in America knows him as Jacare. That's what I know him as. I actually very excited for this fight. Unfortunately for Ian Murphy, because I actually helped Jacare get prepped for this fight. I helped him train at Extreme Couture in Las Vegas. Our managers are very close friends, and of course, with Robert Drysdale now teaching Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu at Extreme Couture, which is one of Jacare's friends. He came up there, and man, Jacare's submission game is incredible. I know that Ian Murphy's wrestling technique, his technical standpoint from his feet, is going to be better than Jacare's. His stand-up is better than Jacare's in the punching department. It's just Jacare is so good on the ground, it gives me a little bit of worry about Ian being caught. But Ian is a tough kid that loves constant motion. He never stops moving, which just gives Jacare fits.
Ronaldo Jacare 選手の優勝です。
Listed as Ronaldo Souza, introduced to the fans here as Jacare. So, in case they didn't know.
Probably one of the best submission guys in both submission wrestling, like Abu Dhabi style, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu sport tournaments I've ever seen.
They mentioned those tournaments where he was a world runner-up in 2005. He has defeated, among others, let's see, that guy named Matt Lindland. That kind of jumps out. And Dennis Hallman, another on his list. All of his wins in MMA have been first-round submissions. Yeah. All 7 victories as we look at the tail of the tape.
He lost his first fight to Macaco, actually in the Jungle Fight 1. I was there, present watching, in Brazil, and it was a great fight back and forth. He got caught with his hands down and got punched in the jaw and knocked out. But he's then gone on a 7-win streak since then. Lost his first fight, wins his next 7, all by first-round submission. He finally got comfortable with the stand-up guy throwing punches at him.
And for Ian Murphy, tough spot to be in, making your MMA debut before a crowd of over 20,000 here against a veteran fighter.
Yeah, it's not too bad. He's probably lost all functions of all of his bodily functions at this point. They've all got out the road.
Plus, for Murphy, you figure automatically his strength is on the ground. He's going up, though, against a great submission guy.
Exactly.
Jacare ready to go.
Very impatient. He's got one switch, and it's on or off. And once he wakes up in the morning, it turns on. He's that way all day until he goes to sleep at night when he shuts it off again.
Round 1 scheduled for 10 minutes. Flies in, and Murphy gets him down.
Elbows in.
Right to guard position. I almost landed in a reverse armbar. Jacare did, but Ian was smart enough to pull his elbow out. Try for the sweep.
Got to watch the guillotine.
Yeah, Ian's making the mistake of going straight to wrestling. He's got to get out of this position.
Knee, another knee. And Murphy feeling it early on here.
Wow, those knees right there are completely legal. They're perfectly fine. The amazement is that Jacare went from a striking position. As soon as Murphy started moving, he immediately went and tried to jump on his back. He didn't give him the position, then swept him and took him down.
Ian Murphy, where does he go from here? Can he get out of this?
This is Jacare's, and trust me, I know this when I tell you this, because I got caught in it about 17 times. This is Jacare's favorite position, is this side armbar. No matter which way you go, he switches in, he switches out. Now he's in a bicep crush. If he decides to move his feet up a little bit higher, he can start crushing the bicep. You see him reversing his hands. You are watching probably one of the best tacticians at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu you've ever seen. He's using it in MMA right now. Better than Nogueira, better than Barnett. I mean, this is probably one of the best guys I've ever seen. Better than BJ Penn. In submission game, and he's pulling it off at MMA right now.
Jacare here trying for his 8th win by first round submission.
Wow, he's got his back. One hook is in. He's got the arm tied up.
Ian Murphy, all kinds of trouble in less than 2 minutes of a pro debut here.
Jacare is so strong in this position, so patient.
Watch down. Go for the amber. So watch down. Compose, nothing there. Compose, breathe, compose.
See, Murphy's in a position now where he's worrying about everything. He's staying in a turtle-up position. With a guy like Jacare on your back, you can't stop. You got to keep moving the entire time to get him off of you. The longer you give him, the more time he's going to get to sink little pieces in. The next thing you know, he's going to have you tapping out.
Watch for the amber.
Jacare smothering Ian Murphy.
Roll again. There you go. Nice.
He's better off giving up the mount at this point. Against a guy like Jacare, you're better off looking at him and knowing what he's going to do to you than not seeing it. If Murphy can, he's a roll to his back, get off his stomach.
Watch for the amber. Always watch for the amber from the back.
Murphy's corner, tell him, watch for the armbar. Jacare's famous. He'll jump over armbar, all of a sudden he'll grab a hold of Murphy's right arm and jump into that armbar. There's nothing you can do about it.
2 on 1. You're right. 2 on 1. 2 on 1. Jacare getting tired. He's getting tired. Just keep.
Jacare with a suffocating introduction to MMA for Ian Murphy. Outstanding collegiate wrestler from Cal State Fullerton.
Roll. There you go. Nice.
Move. He's got to get out of his position. Murphy's in a lot of trouble here. It doesn't look like much to you people at home, but for those of you that have practiced jiu-jitsu, you understand he's in a bad spot right now.
Oh, there comes the rear naked choke.
Oh, that's the
This
deep
could
too,
be
his chin.
This could be a Jacare trying to get him to tap out. He does. He chokes him out.
Oh, wow. He had nowhere to go. As soon as he sunk that in, his form and bicep were completely underneath his chin. Murphy had no chance.
Jacare completes his clinic, and the alligator snaps once again in the first round.
Wow, that was great to see. You know, we haven't seen Jacare fight since his very first fight. And then this is nice to see him fight again, finally live. He was fight his first fight, another fight again. He's crazy. Great job. That's a little alligator call, in case you guys are wondering. Jacare in Portuguese means alligator.
For Ian Murphy, it means things I have to go look at and study on and work at, because he had an incredibly tough test tonight in his debut.
Well, Ian Murphy, to be a 2007 national freestyle champ and to wrestle at Cal State Fullerton, you got to know what's going on. Oh, just misses with that flying knee, just ends up on the ground. But you see how smart Jacare is. He's immediately rolling over. He's trying to get an armbar, even though he misses it. And this is right at the finish where he's got the rear naked choke on from the opposite position. He's up and it's in. It's done. Yeah, good job by Jacare. We're talking about one of the best guys in the world in submission game doing it. You know, he knows what he's doing. Jacare is probably an underdog favorite to win this whole tournament.
And there is the RNC. And there is the celebration. And he's still got a little energy there, isn't he? He's showing him in his corner exactly how he was doing things.
I hear from the side we're going to get a speech by Jacare. We're probably going to have to wait till it comes back in Japanese to get our translation out, though.
Here now, Jacare.
Quero agradecer a presença de todos que estão aqui, porque se não fosse vocês, não teria o Dream!
皆さん来てくれてありがとう。皆
ながいなければこんなにできnaかったです。本当に嬉しいです。
O trio não é um sonho de nós lutadores, não. É de vocês também. Obrigado.
自分の本当に夢でした。皆さんのためにここまでできました。ありがとう。
皆様、ジャカレ選手の次なる戦いにどうぞご期待ください。今の一つでお願いします。
Jacare said thank you to everyone for coming. I did it all for every one of you, and I'm very happy right now.
Now, did you get that, Hans, in Japanese or Portuguese?
A little both.
So I'm getting kicked in the back now because I didn't realize you spoke Portuguese too.
Hans Thompson, quite impressive in his translation for us, but it is Jacare. Watch for him in this dream tournament. A dominating performance over the young, talented collegiate wrestler making his pro debut, Ian Murphy. And for Jacare, he wins once again. 8 straight, all first-round submissions. And there's more action coming up, including Sakuraba later on here in Dream 2.
Welcome back to HDNet Fights presents Dream 2.
And here at the Saitama Super Arena just outside of Tokyo, we continue with Dream 2, the middleweight tournament. Kenny Rice, Frank Trigg, glad that you could be with us here on HDNet. Getting ready to make their way to the ring, Funaki and Tamura.
ただいまより本日の第6試合オリンピアドリーム2ミドル級グランプリ2008開幕戦第5試合を行います。
And now for the 6th match.
青コーナーより船木正和選手の入場です。
Masakatsu Funaki coming into this his 52nd professional MMA fight.
Really, I'm serious. Is he wearing? It looks like there's a belt on. Is he wearing hot pants in the ring?
I'm trying not to watch that.
I'm just asking a question for you, King Rice. I just want to know.
It kind of looks that way.
Okay.
It kind of looks like he's gone very retro with the whole outfit. It looks like a 1970s concert featuring Smokey Robinson and the Miracles.
Wow. You saw that live.
They wore hot pants back in those days, before you were born.
Actually,
Funaki might have been fighting something before they were born. I mean, this guy has been there. He has done that. 38 victories, 33 by submission. He has won and lost 2. He's got Boss Root and Frank Shamrock, Ken Shamrock, Guy Mesger, among others. We don't have time to list them all. Kiyoshi Tamura now being introduced. This will only be his 47th pro fight. A veritable youngster.
So all these guys are brand new to MMA world.
Yeah.
I'm looking here at Tamura. His key wins and key losses. Is this list right, Kenny?
Yes, where he's beaten Gracie and Miletich.
And Minowa twice.
And Minowa, yeah.
And he lost to Little Nogueira, Babalu, Ronaldo Sobral, and Wanderlei Silva. Wow, this guy's been in it. Both these guys have been in the pits of the fires. Well, I'm kind of scared to say this. But this is the fight of the more mature gentlemen. We're on the card tonight. With Funaki being 39 and Tamura being 38. And of course, me only being 2 years or 3 years younger, depending which guy you pick. That's why I hesitate to say this. But there's no way I can catch these guys in record in the next 2 or 3 years. They have competed so often and so much.
Combined, they have 97 fights between them and 69 victories. Tamura with 31 of those wins, 13 by way of submission. And rarely will you see a matchup of this kind of experience and the resume of the who's who of MMA that each fighter has tangled with over the years.
Well, no, you say in one age group a guy should stop fighting and shouldn't fight anymore, and then all of a sudden the same breath you just say the guy keeps fighting. Like a guy like Randy Couture, who's still competing into his 40s. And you look at other guys who are in their late 30s who should retire due to the damage they've taken and the beatings they've taken. These two guys actually don't do too bad in their competitions. They don't take much punishment even in their losses. It's not that devastating knockout or that grueling battle of attrition on their feet. They don't really have that kind of style, so they can continue to compete for several more years.
Funaki in his last 9 fights, a record of 3-5-1. You look over the shoulder there, Funaki.
There's a little bit of a stare down.
青コーナー182センチ 83.5 キロ船木正勝赤コーナー180センチ 83.4 キロ田村清志レフェリー篠田
Tamura, at least at the onset, seems a little more serious. Both guys are not known for their shape. They spend a lot of time getting out of the first round. We don't really have to test their shape because I don't. Both guys tend to go early and hard. It'll be interesting to see if this even makes it through the first 5 minutes, let alone into the second round, because these guys do tend to try to finish a fight as quickly as possible, which also leaves them open to get finished as quickly as possible as well.
Funaki. Tamura, here we go. Scheduled for 10 minutes this first round. And both show a southpaw stance. Tamura with the early kicks.
Tamura wearing wrestling shoes, which makes it easier to move and kick, but also makes it harder to get out of leg submissions.
Funaki with a front kick of his own.
Funaki has some great flexibility.
Funaki now getting in the punch.
Oh, wow, he got rocked there on that punch. Tamura caught him.
And Tamura will counter punch effectively, and now, again and again, good knee. Good knee. Tamura in charge of this, and he whips him to the ground.
Funaki's in trouble.
Funaki, it may be over. It is. Tamura is the winner that quick in the story in the first round.
Wow, and it wasn't the hammer fist at the end that finished the fight. He was actually dead on his feet. He got caught by a nice stiff right hook. That put him in made him loopy, and he started grabbing. His hands came further away from his face, started reaching for the body. Got caught, got kneed, got thrown down. And the hammer fist was just an exclamation point on it. But really, he was out on his feet when he got caught with that right hook earlier.
Kiyoshi Tamura with this only the 5th knockout of his career. Wow. In 32 victories now, only 5 by knockout. This first round finisher of Funaki still being attended to.
Minowa sitting in the crowd. Cut over his nose.
And we'll take another look at the way Tamura finishes it off here after Funaki comes in early with the kick.
Nice slap kick right to the face. This is the end here. He gets thrown down, inside out trip. and hammer fisted. Can't even get his hands inside to protect himself. He's already out. You can even see Tamura's asking the ref, stop the fight. His eyes are closed. He's not doing anything. He's not even trying to defend it, not moving in any way, shape, or form for defense. Well, Tamura, good job. I'm very impressed.
Tamura with an impressive first round win to move on. Funaki, as you look at Tamura taking his bows, good to see that he's up and moving. He talked about how these guys like to finish fights early. It's doubtful most would have predicted that it would be a knockout by Tamura that ends this fight. So for Funaki, he continues to have a rough time in his last few fights.
You know, part of it too is age, part of it too is his style. His hands are very low and wide, and both guys really don't stay tight technically. They want to have a great fight, an exciting fight, so they tend to push a little bit too quick, and it leads them to get open to get knocked out or submit.
And we move on. Denis, Kang, and Mousasi.
Gerard Mousasi, great fighter from France. He, a little bit of an enigma, a little bit, just because in his style and how he competes, and you know, he obviously beat Cyborg Santos and Takamoto, but he got beat by Gono, who's not known for a submission game. He got submitted by Gono. You know, this is back in the Middleweight Grand Prix back in '06, but you know, it's a little bit strange. And Denis Kang, the Korean Canadian American on the card. Kang is, you know, one of those guys, not a top 10 right now, 185, but should be. A guy that has great explosive behavior, great pattern, you know, obviously trains down with Brazilian top team, American top team a lot down in Florida. And then spent this time, though, my understanding is up in Vancouver, Canada, training for this fight. And he really has a boxing sense on his feet, boxing style, traditional sweet science style on his feet, where Gerard Mousasi is more of a savant style, I guess, what you would call it, on his feet. It's kind of a weird mix of how these guys compete against each other. It's going to be very interesting, though, because both guys like to swing, just from different angles. Great guy. About a year and a half ago, probably just over a year ago, I had some time to hang out with him in Japan, and he's actually a neat kid. He's fun to talk to. You know, very funny. We had one of his buddies, a buddy of mine, who's also French, to help translate for us. But he's actually a neat kid, and you know, really doesn't take himself or the sport serious in the sense of wins and losses. He takes it serious in his training, though. So he tends to come in. Everyone thinks he's lackluster. Oh, he's not going to be that good because he's always smiling, he's always joking around, he's always having fun. That's not true. He takes his training very, very serious. He just doesn't put all the emphasis on wins and losses. The emphasis is on, did he do better in the fight? Is he the best guy that came out there that night to fight? And did he give his opponent the best match that he could?
Gegard Mousasi has won 7 straight. 13 of his lifetime 20 wins by a form of knockout.
阿部兄弟よりデニス・カーン選手の入場です。
Mousasi looks on. Here comes Kang toward the ring. Kang in 23 fights, unbeaten, but he has lost 2 of his last 3.
Kang, probably with Akiyama being out due to a broken nose, probably the favorite to win the fight, win his entire tournament. Not only tonight, but on to the finals. Is he looking ahead? I hope not. Hopefully he's taking Mousasi, but straight looking at Gegard and saying, look, let's see how I'm going to go after it. This is how we're going to work it out. We hope that Kang is prepared. Kang tends to rely on his boxing a little bit too much. Has great wrestling takedowns, great wrestling defense. Better than average submission game on the ground, and knows how to use it very well. He'll tie you up, punch you a little bit, work closer to submission, punch you a little bit more, and then finish the submission. Because you're not sure which way he's going, which is how his submission game works. But when he gets in trouble, he tends to stand there and wait for his boxing game to take over. That's not with him and Akiyama. He got a little bit of trouble and went right back to his boxing standpoint. Instead of trying to take Akiyama down, getting inside and recovering on the ground, as a result, he ends up getting knocked out. He really wanted to have a rematch against Akiyama. For the Akiyama out of the tournament, he's not going to have that happen now. Hopefully Kang get in there. He's giving up a little bit of size and length. But I was 2 pounds heavier, so not that much of a difference.
Mousasi certainly a man that will be willing to stand with Dennis Kang.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys will stay right at each other's feet. I don't really see this going to the ground very much in the early beginning. Just because stylistically, both these guys like to stay up and stand up.
For Kang, this is his 40th professional MMA fight. Has won 29, 10 of those by a form of knockout. Doesn't go the distance much. He's only won 4 times by decision. Mousasi, who is going into his 24th pro fight, has won only 1 time by decision. That would almost make you want to place a bet right now that this does not go the distance.
We're taking the under?
Taking the under for sure. Maybe the under here in the first round.
これより第7試合を行います。青コーナー186センチ、83.7キロ。ゲガームサシ。赤コーナー180センチ、83.6キロ。デニス・キャー。
He's not there now, but I saw Jay-Z coming on the ramp with Dennis. He's not in the corner now. Obviously, they train together very well.
Calvin Conte losing in what we'll call the rematch because of the no contest in Dream 1 with Aoki. Aoki wins a decision earlier tonight to start this evening off in the lightweight tournament to advance on, with Jay-Z losing out. And now this is the next to last middleweight fight of the night. Sakuraba will fight to complete the evening as we get ready for Mousasi and Kang.
Nice hook in there by Dennis very early.
Well, we expected this tempo to be set quickly between 2 guys that swing away. And shooting in is Kang.
Nice shot. Good work. Rattle him up top, hit him in the head, got his hands coming up and took him down.
Kang has been able to win 15 times by way of submission.
Well, Mousasi's a little bit more active on the bottom than he usually is. Starting to move his legs a little bit more. So has Dennis's arm tied up.
That's it, right there.
Dennis in a good position in half guard. Nice place to strike from.
Dennis Kang content to get this on the ground in the first minute.
He's ready to beat a guy up on his feet. He's get him on the ground, wear him down, tire him out, put your weight on him, ground upon him a little bit, maul him, brawl him a little bit, then get him back up on his feet. Mousasi trying to hip over.
That and perhaps the respect that he does have for the punching ability as well of Mousasi.
Gegard took a very hard left hook right in the very beginning and kind of waved Kang. It's like, come on, keep coming. There's no problem. I'm good. He has a very flush, very tight early punch. Gegard's very active from the bottom. Far side coming out.
Mousasi's had to work on the defense here in the early going of this fight. Kang coming out with the punches, getting it on the ground.
Dennis stepped out of that half guard with that Kimura. In my opinion, kind of a mistake. He should have kept that half guard to keep his hips tied up. He could have worked that arm out.
He had him in trouble, didn't he?
Yeah, let's see if he can finish it now. He still has it locked up, but now Mousasi can move his hips. Gegard can kind of move himself around and kind of protect his arm a little bit better.
Kang's got to watch out for those knees as well in this position.
So pack it up a little bit. These are landing in Kang's ear. Yep, see, he can move his hips. He's starting to shot himself out. He got his arm free.
Mousasi is okay. He's able to get away. The fans appreciative of the defense. His ability to escape Kang.
Nice up kick.
McCain trying to sneak in.
Right in the
Kang
triangle.
is able to, but now he's caught.
Oh, he's caught too.
Mousasi has him in the triangle.
This is deep. This is a problem. He's got his arm locked.
And it's over. Mousasi wins it. First round triangle.
I can't believe that Denis stepped in to go ahead and try to punch pass and stepped in with one arm in, one arm out, and put himself right into the triangle. Nothing against Gegard, but he didn't do anything to put that triangle on. Denis just fell into it. Gegard has had the sense to go ahead and try to make sure that he had it finished once he got there.
Mousasi winning for the 8th time in a row, and he may look back at this tape and go, wow, I got lucky. Dennis Kang may look back and go, what did I do?
Man, that was a big mistake on Kang's part. He was in a good position, had a perfect submission spot, was getting ready to step in to try to finish it. And as he steps through with his right arm to go ahead and throw down for a submission, he puts himself right in between the legs of the triangle.
Well, the punch early by Dennis Kang, he wanted to get this to the ground, and he did after he comes out with that strong combination.
There he is, he's leaning in, he sits up, and he punches down, one arm in, one arm out. That puts him right into the triangle.
And just prior to that, while it was still on the ground, Kang, as you pointed out, had a great chance at getting a Kimura work there, but then decided to change his position.
Yeah, that surprised me that Denis would jump out of half guard on that Kimura position, and this is what happens. He ends up not being able to finish the Kimura and gets caught in a triangle.
So Mousasi picking up the 7th submission of his career to go 21-2-1 and advance here in the middleweight tournament.
Wow, that's a huge upset. That's a huge upset. Dennis Kang, in my mind, was picked to be in the finals of what I would see as a dark horse in Jacare, and maybe a Minowa didn't see himself through, depending on how the brackets line up. But I definitely saw Kang in the finals. I can't believe that Kang got beat by Gegard. That is amazing.
And you'd have to wonder about Kang now, who has lost 3 now of his last 4 fights. This was after a guy that for a couple of years looked almost invincible.
Yeah, really, it really did. I mean, think about these quarters, how they're matching up now. We still have one fight left in the finals, but think about these quarters now in these winners.
Gegard, Mousasi.
Thank you, arigato. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy that Mr. Sato gave me a chance to fight in this Grand Prix. I will do my best to win, and very happy to be part of this Grand Prix, and hopefully I will give more good fights, hopefully. Thank you very much. Arigato.
皆さんありがとうございます。日本に来ることができて本当に嬉しく思っています。
Gegard Mousasi with a stunning first round triangle victory over Dennis Kang.
最高です。これからもどんどん良い試合をしていきます。
Now, if you look at how these things are starting to pan up and pan out, you're looking at Ken, Yoon, Galesic, Souza, Tamura, and Mousasi. We're still with one more fight left to go. These quarterfinals are going to be great, a great quarter. It really is mixing up to be a lot of underdogs that you didn't expect, and some names, of course, that in America we're not familiar with. But with Galesic in there and Yoon in there, all of a sudden you've got Jacare in there, 3 great guys that really know what they're doing. And all of a sudden you add Mousasi. Look at the quarters. This is going to turn out to be a great middleweight tournament.
And we'll get ready to close it out with the man expected to be there as well, a legend in Japan. Sakuraba will be coming to the ring when we come back.
Welcome back to HDNet Fights presents Dream 2.
Saitama Super Arena, huge crowd tonight for Dream 2. And we get ready to wrap up this middleweight tournament first round with one of the true legends in MMA. One of the leading fighters in the history of Japan. You might have heard of him. He made our Inside MMA Top 10 all-time list, and most everyone else. Sakuraba getting ready to fight a young man making his MMA debut, Nakahara.
And now for the 8th match.
青コーナーよりアンドリュース中原選手の入場です。
Andrews Nakahara, MMA debut. Has had success in karate tournaments. We know that about his background.
Amazingly enough, coming from Brazil, you would think it's only Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but it's the second largest population of Japanese in the world is in Brazil. Of course, the first being Japan. Great karate guy.
Nakahara, the winner of the 2006 All-American Open Karate Championship. Last year, he finished second in that tournament.
Tough night for him, though, making your MMA debut against Sakuraba.
One thing, he's certainly had plenty of DVDs to look at Sakuraba's performances, if it means anything.
So the assumption can be made. Stand-up was going to be impeccable.
Yeah.
His ground will be non-existent. So if I'm Sakuraba, who's not known for his stand-up, first thing I'm doing is taking this guy down on the ground as quickly as possible, passing his guard, and breaking his arm off.
Nakahara waiting as he steps through the ropes for the first time as an MMA pro. This is Showa Day here in Japan, part of Golden Week, one of the 3 biggest holiday seasons in this country. And kind of appropriate that a guy that could almost have his own holiday himself over here, Sakuraba, is getting ready to be introduced.
He is that famous. He really is that famous. And if you can see in the background, the biggest thing you saw is pro wrestling mask as well.
We have a graphic up on the screen here that says, "Welcome back, Sakuraba."
He was, traditionally, he comes up with 2 other clones. You can never tell which one he is as he walks down with his pro wrestling mask.
Let's go to Gary Moore and Kitty Carlisle to identify who's telling the truth. Yeah, they'll have to Google that one.
I'm gonna have
that's a throwback. I was even a kid back then. When they bring three guys out, they'd be lying. You had to figure out which one was telling the truth and what was the real occupation. Which one is the real?
What was it called? Telling the Truth?
To tell the truth. Yeah.
There's a remake of it. It was on for about 6 weeks, just a little while ago. I remember catching pieces and bits of it.
Kazushi Sakuraba. Gee, which one do you think he is?
One in the middle. I got the middle guy.
You got the middle guy? 23 victories, 10 losses, 1 draw, 2 no contests. That's his career. Wins over Quentin Jackson, Renzo Gracie, Ken Shamrock. Losses 3 times to Vanderlei Silva. There's always that one guy that has your number, isn't it? And Vanderlei Silva certainly has Sakuraba's.
No, I don't know of any guy that would have your number 2 times or more. No.
As we look at the tail of the tape, right, you just look at the lower right there. The record just leaps all over you, doesn't it? Sakuraba, who certainly has not had the fights. The success certainly has exceeded, but, we saw Tamura and Funaki earlier. They fought far more fights than Sakuraba. He's been around so long and had the success, you'd almost think he'd have like 50, 55 fights.
One of them's got to be Sakuraba, because this guy can't fight 3 guys all at once.
Maybe they would let Nakahara in his MMA debut just pick one.
That'd be great.
He might have a better shot that way. Maybe he wouldn't pick. Maybe he would luck up and miss Sakuraba.
We need to have 3 Nakaharas versus 1 Sakuraba.
That would be better, actually. Yeah, 3 Nakaharas in this.
For those of you that know anything about wrestling or boxing, judo, most of us get cauliflower ear. Sakuraba has probably the worst cauliflower ear I've ever seen in my entire life. He always has to tape it because it's always in the process of bleeding. It never heals. He has the worst cauliflower ear, much worse than, I don't know, say, Randy Couture's.
So when he got the call, no doubt, as you look at the legend Sakuraba, here's the good news, bad news, Andrews, Nakahara. You're going to be part of a big fight promotion dream. Over 20,000 people, Saitama Super Arena. The bad news, you got to fight one of the all-time greats right off.
That's kind of surprised. Sakuraba is actually the first one to kick. If I'm Nakamura, I'm coming out there swinging and kicking as much as I can.
You figure that's his best shot. He may have the kicker chance in this case. That great karate background that he has.
Sakuraba is one of those guys who thinks a lot of punishment in his fights. So he'll win a lot of fights just by fruition, just by hanging out. Because the guy gets tired of beating on him, and all of a sudden he gets caught in a submission. Renzo Gracie and him was a great battle back and forth. Sakuraba ended up winning it by a Kimura lock. Dislocated Renzo's elbow, actually, in the win.
Nakahara reaching with the right.
Sakuraba actually basically beat almost every Gracie that there was at the time, which is how he got famous. Oh, good duck.
Sakuraba, well, hanging on to that left leg and still standing up is Nakahara. Nakahara still, how's he doing it? He's like the Iron Flamingo right now. Sakuraba traces him down to the corner.
If he gets him down to the ground, this won't be good.
Nakahara, give the youngster credit.
Wow. Good job. Desperation sometimes sets the standard. Sakuraba, you will not find a more patient fighter. He had a very long fight. He just kept grueling it out. He's just one of those fighters that just will continue to compete. And he never really gets a rise. You never see him panic.
After the stall in the corner, they'll reset. Will Nakahara try some kind of kick here? No, again, it's Sakuraba with the kick.
That amazes me. It's almost like Nakamura's. What's he waiting on? What's he trying to do? Nakahara, why is he standing around?
Oh, timeout now, as for by Sakuraba.
It looked fine to me. It looked completely. Hopefully, we'll get to see a replay of this.
That's kind of universal, isn't it? No translation needed there. Did he?
Oh no, it's fine. It was completely. That was in the leg, totally in the leg. He's fine with that one. It's fine.
Sakuraba has up to 5 minutes here if he chooses.
Man, he couldn't have missed it if he tried. That was probably one of the most accurate groin kicks I've ever seen.
Sakuraba, no doubt important here to the dream promotion to have Sakuraba fighting in this middleweight tournament.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's a huge name. He's a big name. He left Pride before Pride was purchased by Zuffa, and he moved over to K1. And, you know, Dreams obviously is part of the K1 family. And you know, it's a huge deal to have Sakuraba still competing.
Yes, Hans.
As you guys probably know, they just said that they're taking a break because Sakuraba took a shot here. They used the sportscaster's euphemism of his weak spot he got hit in.
It's that way for many guys on many levels, not being in a fight.
I have a couple of friends that have sold houses and given away cars because of that weak spot. Bank accounts, credit cards.
So Sakuraba, it looks like he's going to milk this. He's going to take the full 5 minutes here. As you look at Nakahara, making his MMA debut after a very strong karate background. And we'll go the full 5. We're ready to go again. Nakahara, gentleman, showing his respect there for Sakuraba. Unintentional, that low blow. Sakuraba shoots, doesn't score that time.
Wow, he's getting
bluffs again. You know, if Nakahara would come a little closer with that wild right hook as...
Well, Sakuraba stopped in the middle of that shot to kind of see what he was going to do. And Nakahara took a step back to that uppercut, figuring that Sakuraba was going to be right there. And that would oh, wow.
Good kick.
Good hook kick. He came up, if you can see that, you know, you have this being T-bowed at home. He up kicked, he came around the top and smacked down. So instead of coming up and rising, catching Sakuraba underneath the chin, they cut him on the temple and come chop down on top of him. That's a real difficult kick to land.
Nakahara flashes but misses with the high kick. A big underdog coming in here. You figure this is his best shot. He gets one of those powerhouse kicks in on the veteran Sakuraba. Sakuraba fires in that low kick. You hear it resonate around this arena. I mean, let's face it, what could Nakahara possibly show Sakuraba that he hasn't seen before in his career?
A guy running away and jumping out of the ring before the fight even starts. That's the only thing I think Sakuraba hasn't seen.
That would be it.
I mean, everything else, there's nothing this guy hasn't been through or gone through, especially with his opponent list. I mean, he's seen everything. From the best strikers in the world, you know, in Crow Cop, the best submission guys in the world in Nogueira, to just getting manhandled by Vanderlei Silva 3 times. I mean, he knows what it's like to be in a tough fight. There's nothing new you can do to him.
Couple of knees there by Nakahara. As we approach the halfway mark here in round one. Another kick.
Solid inside leg kick.
Nakahara has delivered
Sakuraba
several
actually,
good kicks.
he pulled out of the tournament to begin with because he hurt his knee. That knee got repaired and he hurt his other knee. So he wasn't going to actually compete. And then he said, then he's back in. You can see his legs are heavily taped. He's had bad knees for a long time. One of the tricks is always kick him in the knees while he slips.
Nakahara on the ground. Sakuraba slipped on that.
Sakuraba gets his takedown, gets a good position. Wow, Nakahara doing a good job of getting back to his feet. If Sakuraba could get this on the ground, he could finish this fight relatively quickly.
Nakahara doing a nice job here.
Excellent work defending himself, getting back to his feet. Unfortunately, he's in the corner because this is a good spot. Sakuraba has a tendency to be able to finish guys once he backs him in the corner.
Remember, Sakuraba early in this fight pretty much stretched that left leg of Nakahara out, was dragging him almost around the ring and couldn't get him down. Sakuraba now. What will he do now that it's on the ground?
Oh, wow. Quick work.
Nakahara quickly back on his feet. And the youngster, he'll show respect, but giving no concessions to the legendary Sakuraba here in the first round.
Sakuraba doing a good job of sitting back. I thought he had that. His position was so perfect for his timing to switch to it. I thought he had it.
Trying to lock in the leg, and Nakahara gets away again. Nakahara getting 14 years, the junior of Sakuraba.
Great shot with that knee.
And they'll cheer every knee of Sakuraba.
What that does, that knee, when in that position, when he's wrapped on your body, it forces him to have to let go if he wants to protect his face. Otherwise, just keep getting kneed. So now let Sakuraba be able to move, switch positions. Sakuraba is actually giving him a way out. He's not doesn't have anything tied up, doesn't have any underhooks. But Nakahara's he's not trying to move in here. He's trying to defend. If he just turns his hip and turns into him, he'd get out. He went the wrong way.
Nakahara showing the inexperience here of his ground game, and Sakuraba now possibly ready to sink in that rear naked choke. Under 2 minutes in round one.
And neck crank. He's got his head turned.
Sakuraba wins it. Sakuraba wins it here in the first.
Wow, he had that head turned. And really, he didn't have anything really solidly tied up on him. It was Nakahara's inexperience. He didn't know what he could have turned out. He could have moved out of the way. He had position to move. He just didn't do it.
And as it's been so many times here in Japan, screaming out the winner's name, Sakuraba. This would have been a bigger upset than Buster Douglas defeating Mike Tyson. Had the youngster Nakahara come in and gotten this victory, and Sakuraba kind of workmanlike but effective, and especially as you mentioned, Frank, when he got him to the ground.
Wow, great kick.
Nakahara had his moments.
And there's getting that neck crank. I'm so amazed at the Buster Douglas Mike Tyson reference. Most people forget that actually happened in Tokyo, 1990. So it's actually a good sports reference for those of you at home. Never doubt Kenny the Rice Man.
Never doubt Sakuraba when he's going up, especially on his home turf against a young fighter. He gave him a clinic when he got to the ground today. And Sakuraba winning for the 24th time in his illustrious career. as we talk so much, looking back on all this, maybe one of the big surprises, of course, Denis Kang losing in a first-round triangle choke to Mousasi. That might be the surprise of the night, perhaps.
For sure. For me, it was definitely the surprise of the night. I definitely thought Denis would have a tough time, be able to get his way through it relatively easily. You know, it'd be a tough tuition. I got to fight a guy that's going to keep moving, keep swinging at me, but I'll be able to beat him relatively simply. And it just didn't happen.
And huge, of course, for the whole organization that Sakuraba moves on.
Jacare wins in easy fashion, you know, typically as you would expect a guy.
Jacare and Yoon might be the one guy that might turn out to be the surprise guy in this middleweight division.
Yeah, he's gotten a lot better. He's coming in better shape. He's moving a lot quicker. He's very smart about his training, about his attitude. He's getting much smarter.
And on the lightweight side, Aoki had to wait. He was embarrassed. He was upset. He got his head together, got back in his game, and wins this rematch of the no contest, defeating Jay-Z in a unanimous decision to advance on in the lightweight tournament.
Right, yeah. Aoki seems to be unstoppable right now, but the lightweight tournament's heavily stacked, just like this middleweight tournament is. You know, a lot of people say, Aoki might be unbeatable. He's gotten so much better. Man, it's anybody's guess now with the upsets we've seen tonight, and the upsets that we had on the first Dream card. These tournaments are very competitive. People got to be really careful. Can't go in there thinking any one guy's going to pull it off now. Everybody is a favorite to win the whole thing.
Well, it has been a dream these first two rounds. Round 1 and 2 of Dream themselves. Sakuraba now will address the crowd. As he's done so many times, the other fighters all looking on. Sakuraba personally congratulating the other fighters as well.
どうも皆さん今日はありがとうございます。
ちょっと待ってください、すいません。ちょっと待ってください、すいません。はい、それではですね、改めましてここでセカンドラウンド進出を決めました選手に順番にお話を伺っていきたいと思います。それではまず一番左、田村さん、お願いいたします。
The announcer just interrupted Sakuraba, asked him to wait a minute, and said that they're going to hear some words from each of the fighters. And they're going to start with the fighter on the left, Tamura.
I didn't know you could interrupt Sakuraba.
この8人、7人、6人ですね。次は8人なんですけども、
Tamura is having trouble counting how many fighters there are.
Well, he does get hit in the head for a living. Give him a break.
Thanks for coming to watch the fights, and I want to thank my friends for helping prepare for this fight, and I will do my best to win the Grand Prix. Arigato. Thank you.
皆さん、今日はわざわざ試合を見に足を運んでくれてありがとうございます。それからトレーニングの手伝って一緒にやってくれた友達にありがとうと言いたいです。次の試合で絶対に勝ちたいと思ってます。ありがとうございます。ベストを尽くします。
それでは続きまして、ジャカレ選手。
Obrigado a todos por fazer do nosso sonho realidade. Eu vou lutar com coração e vou mostrar o que o público quer ver, que é a luta. Obrigado.
Jacare getting good applause.
今までの夢が現実のものになりつつあります。これからも心の限り頑張ります。
Thanks for coming. Honored to be here from just about everyone, because remember, it's all nice and neat and happy in the ring. In a matter of weeks, these guys will be slugging it out once again with each other, hoping to advance in the middleweight division.
Well, let's not forget that Aoki has to fight in 2 weeks. On Team 3 or 3 weeks.
ドリームの扉を初めて開けましたが、怖かったんですけども、すごく心地がいい空間でした。ありがとうございます。みんなに元気をもらったんで、2回戦何か1個当てたいと思います。よろしくお願いします。
続いてガルシック選手。
It's a great honor to stand here with all these great fighters and great people. I'm gonna give my best to come to the top. Come to support me next time. Thank you.
この素晴らしいトーナメントで素晴らしい選手の仲間として参加することができて本当に喜んでいます。そしてチャンピオンになるためにベストを尽くします。
そして桜庭選手。
今日は本当にありがとうございます。2回戦に進出した方おめでとうございます。僕は関係ないので頑張ってください。また本当ドリームはできたばっかりなんですけども、選手スタッフともにまたいいものを作っていきたいと思いますのでよろしくお願いします。またここ埼玉で会いましょう。
オリンピアドリーム2ミドル級グランプリ2008開幕戦に見事勝利し、
And Sakuraba said,
Sakuraba also thanked the crowd and thanked the other fighters. He said that Dream has just started, but together the fighters and the staff would like to build a great thing together.
Well, they've certainly had two good fights so far. Card number 1, card number 2, as we look ahead to the lightweight Grand Prix tournament and some of the matchups that we'll see there.
Firmino versus Kawajiri. I mean, that's a great matchup. Alvarez versus Hansen. 2 striking guys gonna go crazy. Uno, who got a bye the first round, he got bye into the second round. So it's Uno versus Shida. This is gonna be a great matchup of guys on the ground. Then looking at Nagata and Aoki. Excuse me. It was the winner. It was Nagata was supposed to fight the winner of Aoki and Jay-Z, and it's Aoki. That that lightweight tournament. That's Dream 3. Those 1, 2, 3, 4 matches are plus they're going to add 4 other matches. The rumor is American Jason Miller is going to be on the card. I mean, it's streaming out. Dream is doing a good job.
So far, surprises and strong performances, and it has been dreamlike through the first 2 events. We invite you to join us for more Dream action here on HDNet Fights, including live action from Japan coming up soon. Thank you for being with us, our executive producer and man on the scene in Tokyo, Daryl Ewald. Our producers, John Galpin and Bo Vonsakun. And we look at the rest of the important people that made this possible, from Matthew,